Hello, good morning. I just want to talk today. I don't really have, well, I have one plan of action. The only thing I want to talk about today is allergies. Now, I have not had allergies all of my life. And when I first started having my symptoms of allergies, I was best friends with this lady who has had allergies her whole life. She has allergies to shellfish. She has allergies to eggs. She has allergies to what else was it? There's something else pretty major. Anyway, she has allergies and she has eczema. So when she gets when she sits outside and she gets sweaty, her skin starts to sting really bad, or I don't know. I don't understand the whole thing of eczema, but basically I think it's like her body attacking itself. I don't know. Anyway, it's weird and I feel bad for her. But anyway, when I was having these issues with allergies, and I thought my dog had when I hold my dog sometimes her nails dig into my shirt, and I thought I had a hole from her claws or something. I'm like, we just clipped her nails a little while ago. And we try to file them down because we use a Dremel tool, so she's pretty good. She's a good dog. If she can you can sit there and drill away at her her little toenails while you're using power tools. That's one beefy dog. Anyway, way off topic. So anyway, when I was having these experiences of, like, I would be walking and just out walking or doing something, and I would just all of a sudden start not being able to breathe. And it's like, never experienced this before. I was like and it just was hard to breathe. I can't even fake it. I just can't. I cannot fake the feeling of not being able to take an inhale of breath. I just can't fake it. And the first time I've noticed that something like this was happening is I went up north with a friend of mine. We were going to a concert. It was a local band, and they were performing up in the cities. And so me and my friend, we said, okay, well, she told her husband, her boyfriend, that she was leaving. And I told my husband, well, I'm going to be gone for and we're going to go and drink and, watch live music and drink and watch live music and drink. Oh my God, that was a pretty non-sober day. Anyway, so we had gone up there. And this is around this time, spring, things are blooming. Maybe it was around May. It might have been May, because trees already had leaves and stuff. The trees just barely have little tiny buds where the leaves are going to come out, but right now there's barely any, leaves on the trees. Anyway, so I'm outside because this must have been years ago, because I still smoked back then. So I'd be outside smoking with all the other, people that had drove up with us. And one of the girls there had an inhaler, because she has allergies and asthma and various other things that are wrong with her. And she was outside smoking, and I don't know what I was standing by or whatever, but I'm sitting there smoking, and all of a sudden I'm like, I just had a hard time breathing. And she's like, and the one that had the inhaler, she comes up to me, because, we were bar friends, I knew her through bar people, and we talked, I'm a pretty recognizable person. I'm a big girl who could hold her own with liquor, and the glasses are a very big indicator. I mean, they're orange. I don't know anybody who wears orange glasses. Anyway, well, at that time, I tried to pick colors that were not common. Like what the glasses before these that my kids broke back in 2010, they were white. Before white frames became popular, I was wearing them, and my kid broke my glasses, so I had to get a new pair, so I got the orange. And I haven't had my glasses break since then, so these ones will probably last me a while. Anyway, way off topic. ADD. I'm not lame enough to go, hashtag ADD. And it's like, no, I'm not doing hashtag. Hashtag is such a dumb thing. Anyway, well, I don't use Twitter either, so. Yeah, I'm old school. I'm old. Shut up, I'm old. Anyway, so I'm sitting out there, I'm having a cigarette with all these people, and I'm like really just distressed. You can tell I'm having an issue. I can't even inhale my cigarette. So I put my cigarette out, put it back in my pack, because why waste a cigarette? I don't just, if there's this much on the cigarette and I only puffed this much, I'm gonna put the cigarette out, make sure it's put out. You make sure your thumb's over it, so you know for sure it is, because if it burns your finger, you know it wasn't. Anyway, so and she reaches into her bag. She's got a big purse that has all bunches of medicines in it. I'm pretty sure she had medicine in there for pain, like for the people who pop pills for pain, stuff like that. And she's like, here, try this. And she goes, please don't be a slobber person. I'm like, oh, I know too well not to slobber on people's things. And she's like, and I'm like, how do you use it? She goes, shake it up, and then puff and inhale at the same time, or squish the thing. So I do that, and she says, do now exhale, hold it in and exhale after a while. And I'm like, oh, you mean like you do when you get, when you're smoking pot? And she's like, yes, exactly, kind of like that. And I'm like, okay. So then I do it again, and I'm like, I feel instantly better. I can breathe again, and I didn't have another attack the rest of the night, but that was my first. She's like, you probably have allergies, and I'm like, I've never had allergies in my entire life. And she's like, you should probably go get tested for this. So okay, so now back to the friend, the one that has the allergies to eggs, and shellfish, and I'm missing some things. That she's like allergic to like 5 things. It's like in the old natural world of things, she would have been one of those kids that perished early on. And that's sad to say, but you know what? Modern medicine makes it so, but anyway, we're not getting into that kind of topic, because anyway, I shouldn't say she kind of is not my friend anymore, but at this point back then, she was my friend. So I'm going to, I'll refer to her as friend. So anyway, at this time, my friend was like, when I talked to her about that instance where I was up in the cities, and she's like, oh, it just sounds like you have asthma. And I'm like, I've never had asthma in my life. I used to, when I was in high school, I used to run the mile in under 7 minutes. I would run the mile in 6 minutes and X amount of, I never could get past the 6 minute mark for the mile. I just never could. I was never a fast runner. I never thought so, but by today's standards, 6 minute mile is like fast. The sad thing is that like my kids today run the mile in like 11 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. And I'm like, that's almost walking. I don't know. Anyway, but, FIAD isn't a requirement anymore like it used to be. I remember being in 12th grade and, having gym, but that was also in a special school. And I'm glad that they did, because I like gym. Gym was always the easy credit, and I think it's required, just like home ec should be required. But still way off topic, so back on track. So anyway, this friend of mine, she's like, oh, you can't just develop asthma, or you can't develop asthma symptoms as an adult. You've had to have had them. And I'm like, no. So then I go in to an asthma, allergy, asthma, I think, whatever the person is that deals with all that kind of, breathing type things, or, allergen type stuff. Anyway, I went and saw a doctor, and he's like, they ran me through this rigorous test to check if you have asthma. They put you on this thing, and they make you walk for a long distance, and they got this little breathing thing, and you have to breathe, and I'm like doing fine. And then they got this, you breathe into this box, and you make this ball move, and I did all that fine. And then they had this little where you're staring at the screen, and you got it. I forget what you had to do, but it was something with also to gauge how much power you could breathe or whatever. And anyway, it was a bunch of tests, but basically all those tests told the doctor, no, you don't have asthma. So then he goes, do you have allergies? And I said, I don't know. I said, I've never had them in my entire life. And the fall before that, I had noticed that we used to go to we still do. We'll go to this local pumpkin patch, and they sell local apples. They're, in big bags for really cheap price. And so I had an apple, because I never washed my apples before that. I mean, I would rinse them off, but I never did any real rigorous washing with, now I use vinegar and water to wash all my vegetables. But back then I didn't, and I remember eating, and I would get this itchy feeling, and my throat would start closing up a little, where I would need, I was coughing more, and I could feel that my, just right here was, closing up, and I didn't know why, I don't know, and I told him that, and he's like, it sounds like you have allergies, and then he's like, have you had an allergy test? And I'm like, no. So then he's like, okay, so come back in a week. And I'm like, okay. So he didn't tell me that I had to not take my allergy medicine for a whole week. And anyway, this video, holy crap. All right, well, I'm gonna end right here. So this will be part 1. I didn't want this video to be this long, but anyway, so this will be part 1, and part 2 will be after he tells me to come back in a week. So we'll come back to that. All right, bye.